Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Masters of the Universe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie, Beastman. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging, and here at the top we have 30 points of articulation, 6-and-up Mattel, and then on the top flap here, Masterverse with that old rocky explosion that takes you back to the original figures. And then got a nice little window, it's not a big window, showcasing some of the figure and accessories. Nice artwork here of Beastman, and then you can see Man-at-Arms here, and maybe an Eternian Guard. Masters of the Universe, the movie logo, of course, and then Beastman. And then the artwork from the front kind of wraps around. You can see the movie Castle Grayskull there in the background. And then, you know, there's some more of Beastman there. And somebody in the background, who is that? It's Blade. How about that? That's cool. And it says Beastman right here. I think I already said that. And then here is like a close-up of Beastman, and then another shot of Beastman. So very nice artwork. On the back of the packaging, nice product shot that looks like practical photography. These two may be digital renders. I'm not 100% sure, but it does look really cool. And then we got a little picture of Beastman right there. Beastman, savage henchman, known as a savage mercenary and Skeletor's finest warrior. The snarling Beastman travels to Earth in search of the Cosmic Key. Also available, each sold separately, subject to availability. And here's the cross-sale Thunder Punch E-Man, Emperor Hordak, Leech, and Cyclone. Mattel, empowering the next generation through play. Then on the bottom, we've got small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, MattelShop.com print. Say that 3 times fast. Contents, 1 figure, accessories, a question mark, symbols I'm not going to learn, some numbers I don't know, except their assortment numbers maybe, and a barcode. That, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers, so we can take a look at the accessories. And first up, he does come with an extra set of hands, Beastman slap hands for slapping itself when he sees Will Smith coming. And I have to say, they are nicely detailed. And I don't know if we've seen these before or not. Probably. We probably have seen these on the new Eternia Beastman. They're on an in and out hinge. And same thing applies to the opposite hand. Just nice sculpted detail. I mean, there's all kinds of wrinkles and knuckles and fingernails and hair. And there I go dropping stuff. And it's on an in and out hinge as well. So I think those are pretty nice looking. His last accessory is a sword. You know, I mean, I guess it's pretty standard kind of sword. It's got a little bit of design in it here, and you can tell it's been used a bit. It does have a nice paint app there for the blade. I do believe it's molded in this gunmetal color. And look at all the detail in there. And then you've got the hand, or the wrap for the handle there. And this looks like it might be a tampo. So that's a very nice piece. I like that. I didn't realize It was that detailed. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And raise the camera up just a little bit. And I have to say, there is a lot of detail going on in this head sculpt. I mean, there's just so much hair. And not that this is my favorite Beastman design. It's by far my favorite Beastman design. But it is Beastman nonetheless. And, you know, the Masters of the Universe movie was not the greatest piece of cinema ever made, by no means. You know, the costumes weren't the greatest, and the story wasn't the greatest, but it still holds a very special place for me, even though as a child I was like, this is not really the He-Man I know, because, you know, everybody was expecting a live action version of the Filmation cartoon, and that's just not what we got. But just look at those paint apps in there. The eyes, the teeth, I mean, just all over the face. The only thing really missing, I would have liked to have seen a little bit of wash in the hair, just to help it stand out a little bit. You can see his ears poking up. So, very nice. Then as you get down to this armor, I mean, just the paint apps in here are fantastic as well. You got a little bit of hair hanging down and peeking out from under the chest plate as well, there at the pectoral section. And, you know, there's all kinds of molded hair details in here, which I'm sure this is reused from something, probably a Beastman. And then the arms, I don't know if they're reused. I don't remember seeing straps like this. Well, this one is not molded on, but the ones that are molded on, I don't remember seeing those on there. Now these pieces right here, the forearm bracers, they're a separate piece, overlay if you will. And the same for the shoulders, and it looks like the shoulder pads just connect into the top of the armor rather than clipping under, you know, in the arm peg. So we've got some paint apps going on here and on these overlays. I mean, just lots and lots of paint going on here. And look at all this. I mean, it's impressive. Whether you like this version of Beastman or not, I mean, all these paint apps, the deco, the sculpt, I mean, it's very, very cool. These, you know, I always thought he was wearing pants, but I guess not. So these pieces are just overlays they strap around, and that's not part of it. I don't know. That is part of it. So there is that. And then we've got some, you know, fur details down in here. I don't know if that's supposed to be his fur sticking out or an animal that maybe he used to make his uniform. I don't know. But we've got lots of nice molded detail in here. And then these pieces of equipment, I guess. They're... okay. Anyway, they dangle in an area in which it makes them look... Anyway, I'll leave that up to you as to what they look like. Now, there's not a whole lot going on the backside as far as paint apps. Just what carries over from the front, except for this right here. And again, just very, very nice. Nice looking. And then lots of sculpted detail in there. And paint apps here. So a very, very nice looking, if not a great version of Beastman, it's still a very, very nice looking figure. Let's talk about his articulation. He looks up barely. He looks down barely. He does have chicken neck. He's got a little bit of waggle. And he can't do the full exorcist because his head pops off. And while we're looking at it, look how hollow that is. I didn't know it was that hollow in there. But so I guess he can look side to side about that far. So there's that. At the shoulder, this piece does kind of get in the way, but the arm will rotate a full 360 degrees, and it will raise up approximately 90 degrees. Cut here. Oh, no cut. What? No cut in the bicep. So single hinge and swivel at the elbow. Swivels around 360 degrees, and it gives you maybe slightly better than 90 degrees worth of bend. 360 degrees worth of rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge, and in and out hinge on this side as well. Let's see. It looks like there's a cut where the chest and the abdomen meet, and that's on a ball joint. It gives him all kinds of hula. And I'm assuming he can twist around, but because of the armor and stuff, it makes it difficult. So he can lean back that far. He can lean forward that far, and then he can lean left and right as well. Straight cut at about the waist. Gives you a full 360 degrees worth of rotation there. And that gets in the way. As you can see, the little piece for the sword to go into is attached to this upper armor, and then these hip armor pieces are attached at the waist. So that's weird. So he can give you that much of the splits. Does he have the pull down hinge? He does have the pull down hinge, so there is that. It's cut here at the upper thigh, so rotates 360 degrees there. Double hinged pinless knee, and it will give you that much bend. Then a boot cut at the upper shin, 360 degrees of rotation. And at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Although this overlay kind of gets in the way a little bit, it seems like. Now, as far as storage for his weapons, he only has his sword. He can hold it in his hand, or he can go in his little loop there for his sword. And that, my friends, is a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie Beastman with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie Skeletor, the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie Evil Lyn, and all the way in the back, the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie He-Man. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie Beastman, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From the G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Masters of the Universe Masterverse 1987 movie Beastman, I have to say it's a great figure. And I think it's a great representation of the character as he was depicted in the movie. At least that's my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. Now, is this my chosen version of Beastman? No, it's not. I even as a child, I thought that doesn't look anything like Beastman. It's just a monster guy. And, you know, that's it. I guess it is what it is for what they were doing with the movie. They were trying to make something different than the Filmation cartoon and live action. And that's what they did. And whether you love it or you hate it or just tolerate it or whatever, you know, for me, it's a piece of nostalgia that is a part of my childhood. And I do enjoy it for what it is. And the same goes for Beastman here. I enjoy this for what it is. And for the most part, it's a very nice action figure. It has good deco, it has excellent sculpting, and it just looks fantastic. Again, whether you love or hate that movie, this figure is a great looking figure. Now, whether it has a place in your collection or not, that's entirely up to you. Of course, I'm not going to run and tell you that this is a must-buy figure, because for most people, it's probably not. It's very niche, not not just with collectors, but within the Masters of the Universe community as well. There's some of us that like this movie, and there's some of us that don't. And I, for one, am one who I do like this movie. I appreciate it more now, I suppose, than when I was a kid. And again, it does have that very nostalgic feel for me. And again, this isn't my go-to version of Beastman by any means, but it is a great looking figure and a fantastic representation of what that character was in the movie. I mean, it's a good figure, no matter how you feel about the media it's based on. It's a great figure. And you could fudge this in as something else in your Masters of the Universe, Masterverse stuff if you wanted to. I mean, you don't have to. Again, like I said, I'm not saying you should run out and buy this. If it's not your cup of tea, then by all means don't drink it. But again, I like it for what it is, and it has a place in my collection for me. And again, everybody might not feel so inclined, and that's okay with me too. That's fine. But I am glad that they did put this out. I would like to see the rest of that group eventually in the Masterverse stuff. Lizard Man, and I think that was his Lizard Man, Sauroid. Was there another one? Blade, yes, definitely Blade. He definitely has a place in my collection. I think that's a really cool figure, or character, rather. But again, that movie, for me, it has a special place in my nostalgic fields, and I appreciate it for what it is. Is it the greatest masterpiece of cinema ever made? No, by far, it is not. It is straight up 80s cheese, and I love it for that. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you're interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.